This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Hoon is joining us. He is the founder of Corp. And Hoon, during the school year, Corp conducted workshops to diesel mechanic students at 6 technical colleges. Can you talk about what type of education they received during the workshops?
Basically, what I tell people is how the diesel fuel has changed over recent years, and then how to troubleshoot common filter plugging issue. People always talk about how fuel change, but they don't really understand about the biodiesel, so we're trying to tell them that how those two work together.
And when these students become mechanics, it's amazing to see how customers really value the opinions of their mechanics with regards to these issues.
Yes, they do. As a matter of fact, a lot of those people really trust their mechanic, and so our job is mainly make sure give right information rather than a lot of myths going on with biodiesel. And also, typically, fuel-related problem, basically, everybody thinks it's fuel-related, only about maybe 80%, actually nothing to do with the fuel. So we want to give them good education on really fuel is not the main cause of the problem with their engine.
Do you find that it's fairly easy to talk with those students to tell them why maybe some of the misconceptions they had are incorrect?
Initially, I had a little bit of a rough time, but then as a word spread, we've been doing this since 2011. I think people are kind of looking forward to it, and they're much more open-minded.
I would think diesel technicians have pretty much stayed in high demand, too.
A very high demand. My understanding is, again, a few years ago, I was in Omaha, basically talking about how much diesel mechanic student they need. What I heard was next several years, there's going to be at least 50,000 more mechanics just to replace the current people who are retiring, not including the new ones they need. So they are very big in demand.
Why is it important to have groups like the Kansas Soybean Commission who have been sponsoring this for several years on having these types of workshops?
They really trust their mechanics, so we want to make sure that they get the right kinds of information. And again, if they need help with any kind of troubleshooting issue, we'll offer that help.
Fuel quality is so important in all this, and this is where biodiesel comes in and has so many great advantages.
The main thing is support energy independence. The main thing is supports local economy. And then the last thing is reduce harmful emission. So if people believe in all those three things, I think biodiesel is very crucial in terms of how our local economy does.
And you're seeing auto manufacturers really start to come out with even more of those, too.
Because there's a lot more diesel engines kind of start to come in, small engines and a light pickup truck. We try to educate some of those auto technicians because eventually in their shop they might see diesel-related engine. Because of that, we are continuing to increase exposure to their diesel fuel to those auto technicians.
Hoon, who is the founder of Corp, is joining us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more with Dwayne Taves and Kelly O'Halloran with Bayer Crop Science.
What if U.S. soybean oil were an industry sensation? If end users started asking for it by name? That future is here. The time is now. To meet customer demands, the Soybean Checkoff is investing in varieties that produce oil with increased functionality. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
What does a brighter, more sustainable future look like in our cities and towns, and how do we get there? When New York needed an alternative fuel source to reduce carbon emissions, the city found what it needed in biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil.
All over the country, more and more communities are making the change to biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil. And the decision continues, improving the health and welfare for millions of Americans while adding billions to our national economy.